I'd like to take a little time to show you some of the things that I do with the Kurzweil synthesizer. For one, when I play out live, these days I only use a Kurzweil 2500X exclusively. No other racks or modules or anything. Everything is basically in this synthesizer. And of course, this unit is a synthesizer and a sampler, and that's part of what makes it really powerful. It's the merging of those two technologies that really makes it possible for me to do what I do and express myself. Let me show you some examples of some of the kinds of things that I do. It's possible to basically put a different sound on every key, but more than that, I can decide on specific layers per key. So you really have complete control over, okay, I want 3 sounds on the C sharp, and I want 1 sound on the G, and in this area I want another sound. Like for instance, in this sound, I specifically put the percussion underneath the various instruments that come in. Like you can hear the little tambourine roll, so if I go, so like on this sound, I chose a specific note that I knew I was going to play as part of the chord to bring in this motor sound. There's also like an orchestral hit that happens. And as I play, you have like a pizzicato and a xylophone type sound. So that's one of the tricks that I do to actually make happen live all that I play. The other thing that people ask me quite a lot is, how do you change sounds? Well, for me, a sound is called a setup, and the setup consists of a lot of different zones of different sounds. Let's take a look at this sound, where I have... So I've got all my different sounds. Let's call that one sound. And then, if I step on my little pedal, which is on the floor here, I only use 2 pedals. One of them will cycle me through the different patches that I go to. So as I'm playing along, I can be... then hit the pedal and have this new sound that actually has a sound where if I play lightly, I'll get this electric piano. If I hit the key a little bit harder, so as I go, and the little bell effect that you hear is actually assigned just to this key. So that's a little bit about like putting sounds, placing the sounds on the keyboard. Let's talk a little bit about the controllers now. What happens is, a lot of times what I'll do if I want to just like play a lead, I'll run a looped sample. It's my choice to do that sometimes instead of a sequence. I just rely on samples more than I do necessarily a sequence. So in this particular patch, if I play down here, and we can all hear that now my loop is running, and it will keep running until I let go of my sustain pedal. And while that's running, I can use my ribbon, I can use my wheels, I can use my slider without affecting that patch at all. It's just a matter of my programming the sound to do exactly what I want it to do. So, and after I pressed that note and I stepped in the sustain pedal, it switched me automatically to a lead sound. So now I can play. So everything that I'm doing does not affect the loop at all. Another very cool thing that you can do with some of the controllers, for instance, you can do this. you can trigger notes on the ribbon. So the ribbon is not only a pitch bender, kind of like if you're thinking along the lines of a guitar, like a whammy bar. I can or I can also have the ribbon kind of do multiple functions. Like the ribbon can bring in an arpeggiation and make the sound pan and change the filter all at the same time. So all these things all together kind of enable me to do what I do in performance. On a sound like this one, I put my special effect in the low register of the keyboard. When I hit that note, it creates that effect, but everywhere else is more pitch-oriented. What's great about my Kurzweil keyboard is that I can have infinite layering and splitting potential. I can put a different sound on every key, many sounds on one key, a couple sounds on other keys. And with the controllers and the ribbon and the sliders and the pitch wheel, I can bring those sounds in, fade them out, trigger sounds by things like the ribbon. In this example, I'll use the ribbon to actually trigger a sampled slide that I have. The next example shows how I can assign a particular key to a sample like a motor sound that I took, and have other keys in different registers bring in things like pizzicato and some xylophone. This is some of the capability of the Kurzweil synthesizer.